Aww, yeah! This is another episode of the comic book Kaiju. I am your host, Dude Love, and I'm with me, as always, is Mankind Cam.
Hello, I'm Mankind, and on this week's episode, we have a special guest.
Yeah!
It's Cactus Jack.
Yeah!
Doink the Clown.
Doink the Clown is from the Sandbox Gamers, our video game podcast on the GeekSoToSpeak podcast network, which you'll hear more about at the end of the show. But, Wonder Rob, how are you doing today?
I am doing so good now that I'm here.
Yeah.
Now that I know what this podcast is and is about, my life is complete. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and we wanted to have Wonder Rob on because today we're going to be talking all about the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the announcements that went down over the weekend at Comic-Con International 2022 in San Diego. So that is what we have in store for you on this episode or this issue of the Comic Book Kaiju. We'd like to thank you very much for listening to us. You can always leave us a wonderful 5-star review in Apple Podcasts or Spotify, whatever is your podcast platform of choice. And thank you very much. Spread us around to all of your family and friends because we love you. All right, let's get right into it, boys. So we had a discussion. Now, Wonder Rob was not here, so I'm going to ask you a question.
Oh, boy.
Oh, wait, before that, what? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here. We got a new figure alert. Figure alert. It is He Who Remains. This is a Loki Comic-Con pop. And guess what? He's even got his little apple in his hand.
How relevant.
This had to be purchased. I could not let this slip through my fingers.
I forgot that this is a visual podcast as well.
Yes. And not one, but 2 Loki pops were purchased this week because the Frog of Thunder himself. This is another one that I could not let it go. There's certain pops that you just can't let them go. If you see them, you have to purchase them. There's something that compels you. So I had to get, and this is another Target exclusive. So those are my new figure alerts.
Let me ask you this. Hold on, before we move on, just real fast. Are those coming out of the box? Do you take your toys out of the box?
I'm leaving this one in the box because this is one of those pops that the head is bigger than the body, so he's going to tip over, and there's no base. So he's going to tip over if you take him out of the box. But Frog Thor, I think he's in a little jar. I don't know why they didn't include a little Mjolnir in there. A little frog Mjolnir. But I think this one will be coming out of the box, especially since I ordered this and Target damaged the box, even though it was wrapped nicely, but they still smashed it up. So maybe I will be taking this one out of the box.
All right.
But those are my new figure alerts. Let's ask Hunter Camp. We'll say Wonder Rob for the end. Hunter Camp, what did you get this week?
So, and another relevant purchase, I picked up this plush Godzilla. Which is very great. What's the other thing?
Nice.
Look at him.
Yes.
Look at him.
And so he's adorable. He's absolutely adorable. But on the back, on his spikes, if you like pet them, it's the most satisfying feling. And I don't know what to tell you about that.
What is that from? Is that like an anime or?
No, that was just like I don't know this YouTube channel, okay? But apparently they partner with something and it's YouTube's. Apparently they suck or something. I don't know. They might not. Somebody told me that. But they partnered with like, I guess, some plush manufacturing places and came up with a Godzilla. So I love this Godzilla. As you know, I think we have talked about my favorite kaiju of all time is Gojira. Also, picked up the AEW figure of the week, which is Wardlow.
Oh,
who's currently the TNT champion. Wow. And then wait, was this the right one? Yes, Frankenstein. So a Target boy. And this is the black and white.
Oh,
Frankenstein's monster.
And if you know Hunter Kemp, you know that he is a huge horror fan.
Yes, I have a set of horror things over to this side, which you can't see.
Ooh-wee.
You can see little Vegeta over here.
Oh,
my
that's
God.
scary.
Coming out the light.
After the pod, you're going to have to give me a video tour
Oh, I would be happy to.
of all your knickknacks.
Yes, and if you are a Final
Hey.
Fantasy VII fan, we have Ketchi right above my head
Hey, that's a good idea,
with a
Rob.
halo.
We should put that on our new Instagram page. We're
Yes,
gonna be
what a
putting
great
some
idea.
more and more content on that Instagram page. So don't forget to check out CBK Pod. That's Comic Book Kaiju Pod. All right, let's get Wonder Rob. And I see Stormbreaker in the background, but let's see what is his new figure alert.
Stormbreaker's old. First, I'm going to show you this guy. I don't know if you know about Ben Reilly. See,
Woo.
I don't think Vactor is a big Spider-Man fan.
He's really not.
But Ben Reilly is, listen, I know everything about Spider-Man. Ben Reilly is a third cousin twice removed of actual Spider-Man on his mother's side. And he doesn't actually have any powers except for these little wristbands. He sells those on Etsy, and he makes quite a living. So that's a pretty sweet figure, if you ask me. Also, I don't know if you guys can tell from the audio. Probably not. Maybe the video people can tell. I like Ninja Turtles. I have like 2 or 3 behind me. And the Super 7 set I've been working on. This little shredder. What they do is they take the classic Ninja Turtle figures that you might be familiar with from your childhood and then turn them into even better figures. You guys, look at this one, Vactor. You're going to love it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey!
Very cool. Yes.
That's a bebop. And last but not least, a little Splinter. Scooped those up at my local toy store. The camera may or may not pick them up, but the TMNT Super 7 Turtles are way in the back over there. But if you can't see them, I apologize. But that's beautiful. My new figure alert. I'm in a serious credit card debt.
Yes. So check it. So I was a huge Ninja Turtle fan when I was a kid, obviously. And I had all of the action figures, probably not all of them, but everything from like, obviously Bebop Rocksteady, the movie toys, the cartoon toys, the comic toys, like all of it. And I see something a little bit behind your head where it looks like they did the Super 7 reissues of the Musician Turtles. Yes.
So that's the NECA.
That's the NECA ones. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the NECA coming out of your shell tour figures.
Mm-hmm.
I went to that concert when I was a kid.
They didn't come here, so I didn't go.
Oh, man.
I watched it on
fun.
VHS.
Yes,
and
I'm sure
I wore out my cassette tape on Pizza Power. Flying salsa food delight. Pizza Power.
So I would really like to talk about Ninja Turtles because I feel like there's a lot there. And I think it was the Burger King toys too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember those?
I believe so.
Well, that's going to be Wonder Rob's next appearance on the Comic Book Kaiju. But
oh boy.
This episode, we're going to be talking all about what they announced at Comic-Con. So back to what I was saying before I rudely interrupted myself. So we actually talked about some problems with Phase 4 on our Thor Love and Thunder review. Now, Rob wasn't here for that one. But, Rob, why don't you tell us, what are your thoughts on Phase 4 so far?
I think it has more good than bad, personally. My mentality, my outlook for Phase 4 was, for Phase 2 and more so Phase 3, it was just an uphill climb. I would say the vast majority of those movies, each one coming out, was better than the last, better than the last, better than the last. And then we get Endgame and we get a nice little epilogue with Far From Home. And how are you going to beat that, right? It's tough. So I sort of shifted myself into a mindset after Eternals and Shang-Chi where they're starting a whole new story. Kevin Feige, our Lord and Savior, said, listen, you don't know where this is going, but this is all going somewhere. And so I just sort of took everything at face value. But I think it was pretty easy to pinpoint what was going where based on WandaVision, Loki, What If to a lesser extent, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man No Way Home. Half of the first phase is all multiverse. So I said, it's multiverse, baby. And then everybody else is just going to tie in somehow. So even though there were some clunkers, Eternals, I didn't dislike it all that much. And I know it's got nowhere to go but up. So that's my thoughts on Phase 4 so far.
Right. And my basic take, if anybody didn't listen to our Thor Love and Thunder review, first of all, shame on you, because it's available right now wherever podcasts are found, or on YouTube. You can check out, we actually had our good buddy William Goodman join us for that discussion. But basically what I said in that was, I kind of wish there was an end point, a finish line that we could see, because at that point we had no idea what was happening. Well, all of my prayers were answered, because as you said, our Lord and Savior Kevin Feige came out at Comic-Con and blessed us with an ending to Phase 4, and that ending is Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So for the rest of Phase 4, we've got She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, on August 17th on Disney Plus, and then November 11th, Black Panther Wakanda Forever ends Phase 4. That's it. And we got
it's the end.
We got a fantastic trailer. That was one of the best trailers I've seen in quite a while for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So that's the end of Phase 4. Gave us an end date. Yes, thank you. Now, Phase 5. Ant-Man.
Wait, you're gonna gloss over She-Hulk?
Yes.
Oh, well,
are you on the hype train?
She-Hulk. Yeah, they did release a trailer for that as well. And the thing about that, Hunter Camp is not watching these trailers, so I'll just describe it real quick.
Good for you, Hunter.
So
good for you.
The standouts of this She-Hulk trailer.
Let us spoil it.
Yeah, that's fine.
She looks at the camera and breaks the fourth wall. So this comedy is going to be very similar to the comic book where she breaks the fourth wall. That had me smiling from ear to ear. And there was also a cameo at the end. But what is your take on this, Rob, as a Marvel zombie yourself? What do you think She-Hulk?
I think it's going to be fine. I watched the trailer with my wife when it came out, because she's 50-50 on these Marvel things. She'll watch some of them she's not interested in. So I always go out of my way to show her, at the very least, so I can gauge her interest level. And I showed her the trailer, and her opinion doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you what I said after this. She's not behind me, is she? Okay, good. So I said to her after that trailer, I said, I like it and I dislike it. I like it because I feel like the premise is unique. I feel like it has an opportunity to be funny and to present something that's different within the MCU. But I just don't think they got the look of She-Hulk right, in terms of there's a sense of you could suspend your disbelief with the Hulk for the most part, except for that shot in Infinity War where his head's in the Hulkbuster. Except for that. You can suspend your disbelief, but to me, She-Hulk still looks like this is a computer animated character, and it just didn't quite get to that point yet. And I know they work up to it up until it's released, and even sometimes after it's released still. So I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt, but I think the show's gonna be. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't been disappointed by anything they put out except for Eternals.
Oh,
well, I take it back. Eternals I still liked, but it's at the bottom of my list.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I'm excited about is it's going to be a comedy. Did you know that, Hunter Camp?
I think I did know that.
Okay. So that's what I'm excited about, and that she's going to break the fourth wall. Now,
and I'm fairly certain I know what the cameo at the end of it is. Is it Daredevil?
Okay. Yes,
it's MODOK.
Okay, so we can talk about
okay.
we can talk about it. We can talk about the Daredevil appearance. That's
okay.
All right,
so
let's do it.
Yes,
as my boy Matt, my boy,
an attorney, a fellow attorney. It looks like he's going to be. Also, this is something I didn't notice, just because of the way the colors were on the trailer.
Oh my
and
God.
All these people have zoomed in on it and taken screenshots. Everybody has picked up that his costume is the yellow and not full yellow, but like the yellow and black.
Yeah, it's the yellow and red.
Yeah, yellow and
Or
red.
Is it black? Yeah. It's
that
red.
costume and you couldn't see the yellow. And like when I looked at it the first time, it was just, oh, there's Daredevil.
It's muted. It's a muted yellow. So in the fast movement, I could see you not catching it. But then it does like a real slow pan shot of like from his legs up to his chest, but it doesn't show his face.
His head. Yeah.
And you can catch more of the yellow at that point.
So that is going to be great because we know Daredevil is going to be in the show. We know it's Charlie Cox.
Yes.
The other cameo that was in the trailer was the Abomination, and it was what's his name? Like Timothy Ross? No, not
Tim.
Yeah, it's
well, that
Roth.
guy.
Tim
Roth.
Roth.
Yeah.
The same guy who's
right.
been doing it. That
Yeah.
guy.
So he's going to be in it, and it looks like she's representing him, and
It's pretty cool.
there is kind of a, that's the guy that tried to kill her cousin. So there's a little bit of some interesting dynamics that are going to be at play there. So I'm interested.
Wong was also there.
Oh yeah,
Spoiler
Wong
not
as
sure.
well showed up. Yes. So there's a ton of great stuff I think ahead in that She-Hulk show. So I'm excited. That's actually one that I'm very excited. Both of these, Black Panther and She-Hulk, I'm very excited for.
So
And
I've got a question about She-Hulk, and we'll talk about this eventually. But is She-Hulk going to be the show that merges the properties on television? Because like I'm trying to think, and I don't think there's been a huge amount of crossover between the other ones, like established.
yeah, the only thing so far has been Kingpin showed up in Hawkeye.
Yeah, but that's starting over, so that's not like terribly, surprising.
Soft reboot. It's a soft reboot, everybody.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So this is where it's starting. This is really interesting. If we're starting to build them together and create like a shared universe on the television shows, we already know it's a shared universe, but actually showing it, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't know what they're going to say about Inhumans and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Is that still canon?
It wasn't ever really?
Well, they said it was when they first billed it as the Netflix and the shows. And then it was like, oh, they mentioned it one time in the background, but I'm not as sold on those ones as I am on the Netflix shows. So it'll be interesting to see what they kind of cherry pick. Because as of right now, it's just Daredevil. That's the only thing. Charlie Cox and Kingpin.
Well, what I mean is like we're actually getting like more than one. So with WandaVision, we had like a couple of characters that were new. Loki, we had characters that were new. Falcon and Winter Soldier, we may have like a little bit of bleed over. And then Hawkeye was like, new characters, but it was pretty much like central to Hawkeye, and except for Kingpin. But with this one, it's like we're gonna get and the Daredevil cameo. But Daredevil cameoing as well in SpiderMan, and then coming back into this, like that feels like we're getting more than one thing kind of mixing into this, and I think that's a pretty cool way to do the end of Phase 4, or like that could be important.
Yeah, well,
this might be the only one that feels important.
Right. They already announced that he and the Kingpin are going to be in the Echo show, which Echo first appeared in the Hawkeye. So yeah, there's a ton of stuff that's kind of, it makes it feel like it matters rather than oh, I can skip that. I don't need to watch that show.
Right.
Rob, did you want to say anything about the Black Panther trailer?
It looks good. My only gripe with it was I was like, well, where's this story possibly going? I guess it's just because I'm really more interested in how are they going to deal with Chadwick Boseman? Like, I just wanted to know immediately. Just like, tell me what you're doing. He's obviously gone in the trailer, but I just want to know what the story is. So I think I was a little disappointed in that aspect. But then in hindsight, obviously they're not going to tell you in the first trailer. They probably won't tell you in any trailer. They're just going to let you go see the movie. So I think it was just more like, I want to see it, didn't get it, but then it looks all right.
Yeah. And so, Hunter, did you have any questions? Because I know you didn't watch it.
Yeah. So, like, mentioning the Chadwick Boseman part, because I think that everybody wants to know how that's gonna handle. Like, how do we have T'Challa? But at the same time, does it in bad taste to like harp on that, or is it like in bad taste to throw away like a line that's like, oh, this is what happened. Like, how do you
fell down the
accomplish that in a
stairs, so
tasteful way? Yeah, I mean, like, how do you do that in a tasteful way? Because it's I don't know that you can,
Right.
no matter what.
And that's what I've been
why I'm
hearing
so
a bunch
curious,
of podcasts.
like, what are they going to
Yeah.
say?
Right. Yeah.
I think they should have just recast him personally.
Yeah,
yeah.
As much as I hate to say that, yes, I agree.
Yeah. I think it would have been better for the overall Marvel Cinematic Universe to have a Black Panther rather than, to have a T'Challa Black Panther, because it looks like at the end of this trailer, they did show some claws. So it looks like someone is going to be Black Panther, but we don't know who.
We all know. We all know who it is.
Well, I think I thought that at first, but then
Martin
Hunter,
Freeman,
have you been
Yes.
following any of the like behind the scenes stuff with
Yes.
Letitia Wright?
yes.
So I don't think Marvel wants to bring her back. So I think she may take over for a little bit, but I think the ending is going to be another Black Panther. So I don't know if it's necessarily going to stay Shuri. I think they may do it for a little bit, but then transition just because of the difficulties with her.
Yeah, I would expect them to.
And they also introduced Riri Williams in this trailer. She's getting her own Ironheart show. They also introduced Namor in this trailer. So this is the first time we're seeing all of these things collide. And I think Namor is also going to be just another kind of like domino for mutants.
Yes.
And we already, we set it up with Miss Marvel. We've got the Fantastic Four coming, and I think the things that are going to fall down the line, I think there's going to be some type of an XMen announcement in Phase 6, which we also got from this. That was like another surprise that we got. We were all just thinking about Phase 5, but then Feige came out and said, okay, guess what? Phase 6, mother. So I want to see what they're going to do with Namor, because I think, okay, he's a bad guy. He's a villain for this one, but he's going to be the anti-hero. Or he's going to be, by the end of it, oh, wait, there's another guy we got to fight. So can you join us, please? Please.
Do you think that's how it will be? Do you think that's how it will be?
I think eventually, maybe not for this movie, but eventually I think they're going to make Namor like an anti-hero. You know what? They might even bring Killmonger back for this one. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah. Listen.
What about the rumors? Have you heard the rumors about who else is going to be in the movie? Are we talking rumors? Because they might be spoilers.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
A little Victor Von Doom.
Yeah, please. Man.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yes.
So
that might be the after the credits.
More than likely, I would imagine.
So this is what I've, even on the Thor podcast that we did, like, this is what I've been wanting. Every time that you and I have talked about this, like, what I have very much wanted out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I feel like we're finally getting, and I feel like they could have pulled the trigger before. And I don't know if it would have been better or worse to pull the trigger before, but at this point, it's just, dude, Namor is a big deal. Namor has so much behind him, and the importance of that character showing up is a huge domino effect. And there's a lot of different ways that I think that you could build Namor in. Like, you could have, since this is a part of the quote unquote multiverse saga, right, he could be coming in from a different universe. And why haven't we had mutants before? Well, it's because they're in a different universe. I think that would be very, very cool, and I would be a big fan of that. I'm also hyped for Fantastic Four, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. So that was Black Panther. Like I said, it's going to end Phase 4. So Phase 5 is going to be beginning. Like, we already knew these were coming out, but we didn't know these were Phase 5. So Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is actually going to kick off Phase 5 in February.
Looking forward to that one.
Me too.
I cannot wait. And there's a reason why I cannot wait, because
Cassie Lang.
Yeah, her too. They showed the trailer, or they showed footage in Comic-Con, but we didn't get to see it. But I saw some grainy TikToks, and I also saw people describing it on Twitter. And just the description of Kang gave me goosebumps. My spider sense tingled, and my Vactor senses came out, and my hair stood up on my arms. Just from him saying, Ant-Man's like, I'm an Avenger. He goes, you're an Avenger. I'm a conqueror. I was like, yeah! I didn't even see the footage, and I love it. So I can't wait to see how Kang. Like I said, I was already hyped for that, but just the fact that all right, this is kicking off Phase 5. Then in the spring, we're going to get the Secret Invasion show, which is supposed to take place during the blip, I guess, and then the people that the Skrulls are replacing are going to be coming back, so that there's 2 of them. So it's a little bit different than the comic.
Man, listen, that's what kind of like I called with Captain Marvel. I was like, okay, this is going to be awesome. And so I'm really excited about that too. And there's so much potential for this that you can bring, like, there's 3 different ways that you can do, like, bring characters in. And that's going to be multiverse stuff, the bleed over from what we're going to get to, and the Skrulls. And I'm very excited about that because I think it's going to be really cool. And dude, what if we have Robert Downey Jr. show back up? It's possible.
Oh my God.
What? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, but it could.
I think we might see a little RDJ, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. Rob, any interest in this Secret Invasion show?
Yeah. I mean, I was really interested in it, and I'm still really interested in it, but they put out so much where I'm like, I want to see that. I want to see that. I want to see that. It fell down to I don't want to say the bottom of the want to see that list, because it's all up here. Right. But man, it's like I gotta sit through Secret Invasion to get to Secret Wars, you guys.
And we're also going to be getting season 2 of What If in early next year, 2023. We don't have a specific date on either Secret Invasion or What If, but they're early 2023. We do have a date on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which they also showed some footage at Comic-Con, but we did not get a chance to see it. It looks like it's going to be wrapping up the Guardians that we have followed up to this point, kind of their story, and Rocket Raccoon specifically, his backstory. And it's looking like he was created by the High Evolutionary. And the actor that's playing the High Evolutionary was actually at Comic-Con, and he walked out in full costume, which that looked pretty fun to be there. And it's that guy from Peacemaker. If anybody watched Peacemaker. I'm not even going to attempt his name because I can't pronounce it. So Guardians 3 looks like I'm in James Gunn. I trust. I have complete faith that it's going to be good. It's going to wrap up his story. Plus, we're also getting Adam Warlock.
That's good. So what's cool about like a lot of the announcements, and we're going to get to more of them, but like the franchises that I think I favored the most, which a little bit on the weirder end, but like obviously Black Panther, Guardians, and I really love the AntMan movies like a lot. So I'm very excited that this is stuff that like is based on that. And like we have a couple other to talk about, but the fact that these movies are showing up here is what has got me so excited.
Well, I don't think any of us thought Ant-Man was going to be as important as it looks like he is. Even, from Endgame up until now, it looks like all 3 Ant-Man movies are going to play a crucial role in the MCU. Yeah. So I'm excited about that.
It's interesting because he had the furthest disconnect from like Thanos in Infinity War and Endgame, and now he's like face to face with Kang. It's just very interesting to me how they flipped that.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, in summer of 2023, we're going to get the Echo show, and it's going to have Daredevil and Kingpin.
It's the only reason I'm watching.
Yeah, her character in Hawkeye wasn't that appealing to me, but I want to see Daredevil and Kingpin, so I will also be looking forward to that one. Hunter, did you finish Hawkeye? I can't remember.
I didn't finish it, but I definitely I got to know Echo a little bit, and I actually that was one of the bright parts for me for that show because I didn't like what I watched, but I did like the introduction of Echo, and I like that characterization a lot. So I'm pretty good with an Echo show. I think that would be a good one to watch. I think. Personally.
Yeah, I want to see where they go with that. Yeah. Then we're gonna get here's something that I'm excited for: Loki season 2 in summer of 2023, and we're just gonna be continuing some more multiverse stuff. There is gonna be fun. No specific date on that one, but it's gonna be summer. And then we're gonna get in the theater July 28th, The Marvels, which is the Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and then Monica Rambeau movie, which at the end of Miss Marvel, we saw her and Carol Danvers switch places. So we don't know what exactly is going on
a
there.
little bit of spoiler. A little bit of spoiler.
So we'll see. You boys looking forward to The Marvels?
I am.
Yes, without question. I am definitely.
Nice.
Yes. Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. It's like, mommy? Sorry.
Yeah, no, I get it. I completely get it. I understand.
Mommy? Sorry. Right,
Sorry.
I'm watching Ms. Marvel right now. I haven't finished it yet. Thanks.
Oh, snap.
Vactor.
Yeah, me neither. I'm finishing
I already knew about it.
I will be
It's
finishing
cool.
tomorrow, and I didn't know about it, so thanks.
You do.
And I'm enjoying that one
actually
also.
Yes,
So
it's
I'm
really
looking
good.
forward to seeing how they smush these two together.
Yeah, I want to see that. Ironheart, like I said, is the Riri Williams show. That's going to be in the fall. So we don't know anything about the plot of that, but it just feels like they're trying to use her as the Iron Man replacement in the Avengers.
And I like her as a character, so I'm excited to see what happens with her.
We'll see that.
I'm not familiar with her in the slightest, so it should be interesting to see what that one ends up being.
Then in
Probably my least
November,
anticipated, I would say.
yeah, I've got some comic recommendations if you're
sure.
interested. In November, we're going to get Blade. Now, we don't know exactly what the story in that is going to be, but at the end of Eternals, it looks like maybe him and the Black Knight are going to be teaming up for something. Maybe?
He said, hey, Black Knight, get over here. You want to fight some vampires?
Get over.
It's Morbin time.
Yeah. Well, if they killed Morbius, like that would be really amazing. That would be very cool. That's gonna be weird. Like,
Well, what's crazy is, I don't know if you guys know this, Mahershala Ali right now is 48. So by the time Blade comes out, he's either going to be 49 or 50.
Mm-hmm.
And if they want to continue that, like let's say if they want to do a Blade sequel, you're going to start getting up there. And Blade is an action-heavy character, as we saw with Wesley Snipes.
well, good thing he's a vampire,
Yeah.
No!
and he doesn't age.
No!
There's an ancient proverb, Vactor. You may have heard of it. It goes, black don't crack.
But that's in the face. If he's going to be flipping around and jumping around, he gonna crack.
He's not gonna age. He's not gonna age.
We'll
Tell that
see
to
about
Harrison Ford. Okay?
We're also getting the Agatha show, Coven of Chaos. I don't know
care.
what
I don't
that
care
show
at
is
all.
going to be like.
Mommy, sorry.
You know,
Sorry.
I like witch stuff, and I like haunted things and you know, that kind of thing. But I don't care about that show at all.
I just want to see where it fits in
I don't care.
into the other stuff. Well, I like Katherine Hahn, and I liked her performance, so I want to see more of her. And so that's it for 2023.
For Agatha House of Harkness, let me just put this out there, just a little sprinkle out there for you guys. If Wanda's going to come back,
Which
I would say
yes,
that's probably the next thing we're going to see her in. I would anticipate. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm looking forward to it, just on the hope that we're going to get some more Wanda in that show. If she might not be the main character, but we'll see.
Yeah. Did you know they actually changed the name from House of Harkness to Coven of Chaos?
Yes.
I don't know why. I like the House of Harkness, but it is going to be interesting to see Katherine Hahn reprise that role, because at the end of WandaVision, it seemed pretty clear.
yeah.
Like, so I don't know what.
Stuck. She got stuck.
Unless
in
she's
that
a
town.
scroll.
Oh,
Unless she's a scroll.
maybe. Maybe.
Thinking boxes.
Somebody who's not a scroll is Daredevil, and his
You
show
think?
is going to be called Born Again, which is one of the best comic books of all time, written by Frank Miller, written and drawn by Frank Miller. Daredevil Born Again will be coming out spring of 2024. We got to wait 2 years for the Daredevil show.
But you get 3 shows with Daredevil in the meantime.
Yes, and it's technically like a year and a half, almost.
It's also going to be 18 episodes. They announced, like, they're confident enough to tell
That's
us
wild.
that It is not going to be a 6-episode show like all the rest of these Disney Plusers. It's going to be 18. So
No, they're going all in on Matt Murdock. Like they're really riding that hype train a lot. He's gonna be in it more than any other character in Phase 4.
Yeah, Charlie Cox. They signed him up for a good long time,
and he's like money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please, yes, I will sign wherever you say yes.
But
then
Jessica. In
May of 2024, we're going to get Captain America: New World Order, which is the Sam Wilson Captain America. I think we all thought that the TV show was okay. The Captain America TV show.
It was all right. I didn't dislike it.
Yeah.
But it was all right. It wasn't a highlight for me necessarily, but I didn't hate it.
It was one of those stories like, did we need that? Like, okay, he got the shield in that show, but he had already gotten the shield at the end of Endgame. Like, did we need to watch that?
Well, what would you have rather seen? A story about how he becomes Captain America, or him just showing up in the next movie with the suit?
I would rather him just show up.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Maybe give us another.
I think Trent, though, like the fan base in general, like not us, would probably have benefited more or with seeing a series discussing that.
Well, I think the more interesting, like, because they didn't really say anything interesting with Sam Wilson. To me, the more interesting was the U.S. agent and the Contessa coming in and starting the Thunderbolts, which we're going to be talking about Thunderbolts in a second here. But the start of that was more interesting. And they just left Winter Soldier out there. Like, they didn't give him anything to do in that show.
They just needed
him. They're not even giving him another movie. It's like, all right, Captain America, you get a movie. Winter Soldier, well, we're done with you. All right, so that's Captain America. And then finally, to close out Phase 4, we're getting Thunderbolts in July. So Captain America's in May, Thunderbolts is in July. We don't know specifically. So the way that Marvel is marketing this is a new team of heroes. As we know, as comic fans, all of these guys it's kind of like the Suicide Squad. They're a group of villains, and the public thinks that they're heroes. But we know that she's already recruited U.S. agent, and then Black Widow's sister,
Yelena.
Yeah, Yelena. And then, did they recruit anybody else? Maybe Abomination.
So. I would assume he's in it.
So that's all we know so far. And then I'm sure they're going to announce some more as we get closer to Thunderbolts. Julia Louis-Dreyfus will probably be making some more appearances. That's the end of Phase 5.
I have a question.
Yes.
Who do you want to see in Thunderbolts? Like, what characters would you like in it?
Oh, well, they can do Zemo. He's always been.
Let's see, maybe not even necessarily people that they've said already. But, like, what would be your dream list for, like, a live-action Thunderbolts?
New people? Well, to answer Rob's question, he would be like the Captain America. Like, he'd be the leader of the Thunderbolts.
He'd be dancing in the back.
Yeah, I could see that. But as far as new people, like, it would have been nice to have Thunderbolt Ross in there if he hadn't died.
Maybe
that would have been
recast
nice.
him.
Maybe
he don't get the Boseman treatment.
Because I'd like to see a Red Hulk in the MCU.
Yeah.
Maybe. How about Bullseye?
Yep.
Just do the Dark
rad.
Avengers.
Yep.
We've seen the Iron Patriot armor, so they could
just
have Norman Osborn. Put him in there.
Yeah, bring Norman Osborn and Deadpool. Just throw Deadpool in there.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Let's effing
That's
go.
the end of Phase 5. Then, as I said, it was a surprise, but Phase 6 is going to start off, maybe? Because, oh, yeah, by the way, on the slide that they showed, there was 11 slots, but they only revealed 3. So, as far as we know, Fantastic Four is going to release November 8th, 2024. And then the big announcement, finally, we're getting some. No, X-Men is going to be in one of those slots.
Just kidding.
But the big announcement, 2 Avengers movies in the same year.
That's
So the
wild.
first one, May of 2025, as Rob tweeted, we just have to live for 3 more years.
Yeah, just have to
Which
stay
there's
alive.
no promise. There's no promise.
2026. I know.
I know.
I'm like, come on.
So the first one is titled Avengers: The Kang Dynasty.
Yeah.
Second one, November of 2025, Avengers: Secret Wars. And then they revealed that the whole thing is the Multiverse Saga. So like we said, like Rob said, it is crazy that there's 2 Avengers movies within 6 months of each other coming out in 2025.
Like,
and both
imagine
of
if
them,
Infinity War and Endgame came out within 6 months.
I'm going to be honest. I remember that being the case, even though I know it wasn't.
it feels, yeah.
It definitely
Well,
was.
it was crazy at the end of Infinity War. I was like, we have to wait a year for the next one. And that felt crazy. This is going to be insane.
Yeah, I think my favorite thing about it is that it's like we've got a phase in 1 year. Like that is
right. It's in 18
phenomenal.
months. Right.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best news that I could imagine.
What felt like forever with Phase 4.
I know.
Now it seems like, okay, we got a tight Phase 5, and then Phase 6 is going to be mutants. It's going to be Fantastic Four and
Doom.
2 Avengers movies
And
Deadpool
Galactus.
3?
Yeah,
baby.
I'm sure Deadpool 3 is going to be on that slot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
On one of those spots, I should say. And then I also, just today, I released a Instagram reel and a TikTok and a YouTube short discussing the director of Kang Dynasty was named today, and it was Destin Daniel Cretton, the director of Shang-Chi.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to be directing some more stuff in the Marvel Universe as well.
I was surprised. I really thought they were going to lure those Russo brothers back to do this, but maybe they'll do Secret Wars.
Well, there's 2 interesting things about this. So why didn't they announce this at Comic-Con? Why did they wait just a couple days later? Like, that seems kind of weird that they wouldn't have announced it at the same time.
Maybe it wasn't set, the deal wasn't set in stone.
Yeah, maybe there was not like that. That sounds like it just hadn't been signed yet, or like they were waiting on something legal to happen.
And then number 2, he's only the director of Kang Dynasty, not Secret Wars. They have not announced who is the director of Secret Wars. And I was trying to think of possibilities. I would like to see Ryan Coogler, especially depending on how Black Panther 2 turns out. I've liked pretty much all of his movies, and I think he could take on the mantle of Secret Wars. But yeah, if we're not going to get the Russos back,
get Sam Raimi to do it.
He could.
Get Sam Raimi. Yeah.
Let's
Bruce Campbell and Ted Raimi in it. Put him in it. Yeah.
Nope.
Pizza Papa.
Nope.
So
I feel like Secret Wars is their perfect opportunity to recast Iron Man.
That's
put him back in the MCU.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say earlier.
Captain America, put him in the Captain.
Yes,
because all these characters, they're legacy characters, right? And they're the characters everybody loves, and it's the perfect opportunity for them to just, okay, I know he's dead, but can we really do like, this F-list character gets their own movie, and we're just really going down the list of every character that nobody's heard of? Like, you've got to be able to bring them back, and I feel like that's what they're going to do.
So I feel like that there's room for that with the Skrulls for sure. And probably they will show up in Secret Wars, but after that, I really think that they should pull the trigger on legacy characters and have, Miss Marvel, Riri Williams, whoever the new Black Panther is, like all those as the Avengers going forward, because that, like, the only reason, and like, it's not like Iron Man was like a household name in comics before the movies. And so if they just do a killer job, like it's not like we're not all on board anyway, but like they need, just for the sake of like longevity, you do have to kill off Captain America. You do have to kill off Thor. You do have to kill off Iron Man. Like that's just something that has to be there. And it's not like they've done a bad job on any of these things. So I think that we will, I don't want to say it this way, but like drink the Kool-Aid and go along. because it's not bad, and it's not like we don't like it. So,
right. Well, that was the question from the beginning when we were getting the first phase of the MCU. I said, okay, these actors are going to age out at some point. So how are they going to solve what they do in the comics is they just they stay locked in their late 20s, early 30s, pretty much for the most part. So how are they going to handle that? So this is a question I've been wondering how Marvel was going to do up to this point. And it'll be interesting to see after Secret Wars exactly what they do. But that leads to a very good question because there's a couple things that they did not announce that I'm kind of curious about. And I want to get your guys' take on this. Number one is no new Spider-Man movie. And that's Sony's stuff.
Yeah.
Like
that'll get shoehorned in there somewhere. You know they will. They already said they're working on Spider-Man 4.
They haven't confirmed Tom Holland. Like his contract is done basically. Like I think he had one more cameo on his contract.
I believe so.
But that they want him to come back. They want to make more. I wonder when are they going to announce that, and what is the story going to be? That's always what I'm interested to see. The Clone Saga?
Yeah.
No, man. No.
If you don't mind, I think that you're going to have a really good point here, Wonder Up. But this is a reiteration of why I really was not happy with No Way Home, because that's what I was afraid of. Like the way it ended is what I was afraid of, because I love these Spider-Man movies, and the way it ended felt to me, and like I know people have disagreed with me on this, but like it felt to me like we're removing him from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He will no longer be a part of it, period. Because it's like nobody knows who he is anymore. The tie with Iron Man is gone. They might find that there's a spider crawling around New York City, but like they don't know who it is, you know? So he's not an Avenger anymore. Like that's not a thing. And they stripped away all of the things that made it really charming. So I'm scared, and because that was my favorite part. That was my favorite part about the MCU in general was Spider-Man.
I got to tell you, Hunter, everything you just mentioned is what makes me excited for the next one. Well, here's where I'm coming from. I don't necessarily disagree with what you're saying, because I enjoyed the last 3 movies just as much as anybody else. But what I would really like to see more of is I want them to expand on, like, what's the best way to put it? In Homecoming, the sequence where before he's really dealing with the Vulture, where he's like, people are stealing bikes and he's running around the neighborhood, saving cats on trees and stuff like that. Maybe more of an in-depth story, like something with the Kingpin or something, but a more
street
self-contained, not the whole world is at stake here, street level story.
Yeah.
I think would be fantastic. You bring Daredevil in it. It's the year of Daredevil, and it's a rule that a Marvel character has to cameo in every one of these Sony movies. So why can't it be Daredevil? If that's the direction they go, I would really like to see it. I don't need to see the world is at stake every single time with Spider-Man, personally.
So this is something that Vactor and I have talked about Spider-Man and the general for the past God knows how long. I think, in my opinion, that version of Spider-Man works better as a TV show than a movie. And so I would very much like to see that for sure. And if that would be something that they transition to, that would be cool. But again, I don't know that it's going to be a part of all of this anyway. It feels.
I don't think they can, though.
I know they're not going. It's not
much
going to
of
happen.
a moneymaker.
Yeah, absolutely. But imagine if that were a TV show, how many people would be watching it?
Yeah.
I think you would get that. I think that's the only way you get the street level character. Unless they do a Batman or the Batman.
Yeah, maybe.
Right. Well, you know that new Spider-Man animated show, that might be the place to put that.
For that. That whole thing is confusing. They're like, and Norman Osborn's in it, and Doc Ock, and Daredevil, and it's his journey into the MCU, but none of it makes sense canonically. But trust us. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how they do that. Like this, did you see the animation style is kind of like the 60s, like John Romita Sr. look. I'm interested to see how they do that and what role it plays. It's supposed to be set before Captain America Civil War. I'm just interested to see how they do it. But that could be the place for like the street level crime and the smaller things. And then the movie is where you get the galactic problems and world ending stuff. Mm-hmm. We'll see.
If we get Miles, that might be our way around
in live action.
Because that would be, if we transition to Miles in movies, like I would be full on. Like,
you got to get a Miles.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to happen. There's no way it's not.
It's got to happen.
Another thing that they did not announce was the Young Avengers. And we've been building to Young Avengers. All of them have been introduced almost. So that kind of, perplexes me of why didn't they announce that? We got no announcement for XMen. So that's another one. It's coming, but what is going to be the plan? It's really interesting to me of how are they going to fit mutants and the X-Men. And Hunter brought up they could do the multiverse thing where it's like, oh, they existed the whole time and then we just brought them over. I don't know what the exact storyline for that would be, where we want to know the history of Wolverine. Like, we want to know the history of Magneto. And I talked to Hunter, I think, outside the podcast. Do we want to start it from right now where Miss Marvel is the first mutant? Or do we want to have it, and this is not multiverse stuff, if it's just 616 Earth, do we want to have, they were here the whole time, but they were hidden, and maybe Xavier, like, wiped everybody's minds. Like, they've been there the whole time, but you just forgot about them. Or Doctor Strange did a spell, whatever. So there's that option, or there's the Miss Marvel where she was the first mutant option. Now in the comics, Namor is the first mutant, and they're bringing in him in Black Panthers. How is he going to play into it? So I want to know what the X-Men stuff is going to be. I want to know how they're going to bring in mutants. No more Ralph Boners. We had enough of that.
No more.
Yeah.
More boners.
No more boners.
They didn't announce Shang-Chi 2. That's another one.
Hold on. I want to say real quick, just on the mutants.
Yeah.
What if it's what if it's Kang related? This is a universe where Kang eliminated the X-Men and the mutants in general in the Fantastic Four.
616.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too, is like with that, I mean, it's the collapse of the multiverse in this. So it's where they bleed together. So like, that's basically what the description for it was. Because it's like the everything folds in on itself, which is what I've been wanting for the whole time.
That would be perfect. If they did it where the mutants did exist, but Kang erased them, that would be perfect. That would be my ideal storyline. I would love to see that.
And then you get him back.
Yeah. Like I said, no Shang-Chi 2. I know you are down on Eternals, Rob, but no Eternals 2. And there's some... Okay.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I would like to see where they go with it.
Yes, because they left it open at the end where they're going off into space. And then also that Celestial's head is sticking out the Earth, and nobody said anything about that in any movies.
So one thing about the Eternals, and this is, comics related, they're important, but don't need their own thing. Like, there have been good Eternal stories, like, for sure, but it's like their importance is more necessary, I think, in the background. So that I think that it doesn't hurt to have only one Eternals movie just to establish who they are, and then have that be something that's like connecting things.
Well, yeah, I think if they hadn't set up the end of them getting kidnapped and then they have to go deal with the other Celestial, like, they set up a whole bunch of stuff at the end that if they don't do a sequel, I'm going to feel like that was unresolved. That's just me personally.
Well, I think we're probably going to get a resolution for it, but not with their own movie.
Not in the Eternals.
Like, it's probably going to happen in something else.
So I'd like to see that. No mention of Doctor Strange 3.
Which,
and I'd like to see Benedict get one more movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he'll come back. He's too big. He's their temple character right now.
They had mentioned Werewolf by Night earlier. Like, we know it's coming, but there was no mention of it at Comic-Con. So I don't know what their plans for that is. And that's Werewolf by Night is dealing with the Blade, that vampire mythic version of Marvel, that section of Marvel where it's like, oh yeah, those guys are over there. The horror, Moon Knight is in that. So Werewolf by Night would be an interesting sidestep to, okay, here's the magic realm, here's the horror supernatural realm, here's the street level. Like, that's what's great about Marvel and about comics. Like, you have all these different segments and sections. So I'm excited to get that in the movies as well. So
what if they,
I want to know what that's going to be.
What if they say, oh, we're doing Midnight Suns?
Well, I'm excited about that video game. And we will be talking about that. Maybe that we will be talking about that game on the Sandbox Gamers, but I don't know if there's enough, because I don't think they were going to make a movie on it, but we'll see. But was there anything that you guys were wanting them to announce?
I noticed they didn't mention Armor Wars.
Right.
That one wasn't there. And they didn't mention the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 holiday special.
Yeah.
Or not 3, but the holiday special.
Right. They didn't put an exact date on that.
Outside of that, there wasn't anything that I had heard rumored that I was missing. Or that I freaked out over being missing is what I meant to say. Because, D23 is coming up, and they always make a big splash on that. Right. And so I sort of half suspect that they're going to fill in those gaps at D23. Like, they're going to save the announcements everybody wants to hear, XMen, this, that, or the other, Deadpool 3, for their own convention and having something to do with their convention instead of blowing their load, figuratively speaking, at Comic-Con.
Can't wait for them.
And that's in September. So we will definitely report on that. We should have Wonder Rob come back.
We will.
Okay.
Yeah. We talk D23.
Can I be the third chair? Sorry, Seabury.
Yeah. That is going to be a good discussion. But I think that was a good roundup of all the Marvel stuff. Like I said, it was a lot when they put it out, and I kind of felt bad for DC because DC had their panel earlier in the day, and it was, all right, here's Shazam. All right, here's Black Adam.
No. See, The Rock is cool, okay? The Rock is cool. He's a cool guy. He's going to be the president, probably.
The Rock is cool.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're being honest with each other, like, when was the last time outside of the Batman that you cared about a DC movie? Even Suicide Squad, which was a lot of fun. Okay, that was a lot of fun. But like, how important is that? Like, how big?
The
Flash. Being honest with each other.
The Flash. Titans go to the movie.
What happened? Did that even come out? I don't even know.
No.
I don't know what they're doing with that.
Who cares?
Meteor Man. Ever heard of it?
Yeah.
Blank Man.
The Flash,
ever heard of that?
Yeah.
The Flash is going to have Michael Keaton Batman in it.
Are they going to have the Flash? Are they recasting Ezra Miller?
They have filmed it.
I would love them to do it.
We know it exists.
Are they going to recast Ezra Miller?
I would love them to refilm all those scenes. Yes, like, just spend money.
Nobody even and again, most of the time I don't care what people do outside of if the movie is good or not. But dude, like, if we're talking about Shuri, like, this dude has caused way more problems.
Way worse. He's way worse.
So it's like, our whole movie franchise.
Well, there's two things they could do. Either multiverse it out and swap him out, or bring in Wally West. Like, get Barry Allen out of there and bring in Wally West.
Yeah, that would be that's fine by me.
We'll see what happens, because that Flash movie is in trouble.
It's in so much trouble.
What's not in trouble is this podcast, the Comic Book Kaiju. We'd like to thank you very much for listening. Don't forget, you can always share us with all of your comic book loving family and friends. Leave us a 5-star review in Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And I want to let everybody know, we put out our first episode, which was the Book of the Month Club for July, and that was Naomi Season 1. You can go back in our feed and listen to that or watch it on YouTube. But guess what? For August, Mr. Hunter Camp has picked, he has selected a manga.
Yes.
So why don't you tell us, what is the selection, Hunter Camp?
I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but it's the first 2 volumes of Jujutsu Kaisen. It's very cool, and you will read it.
Yeah.
That is a fact.
I encourage you to read it and listen to our episode as we discuss what Hunter just said.
Yes.
So I want to let you know that we will be coming out with that episode next month in August, as well as some SheHulk reviews and some other, whatever comic book things come down the line. We'll be talking about it. We'd like to thank Wonder Rob from the Sandbox Gamers for joining us.
Thank you.
Rob, what's coming up on this week's Sandbox Gamers?
Well, this week's episode, which I don't think will be out by the time this episode airs. I don't know how podcasts work. We're talking Stray. And I'd like to plug... Oh, Hunter's playing Stray? You into Stray?
I'm definitely into Stray. I'm in dismay.
I would like to plug the Sandbox Gamers YouTube page, where currently the first episode of my Let's Play is up, and there will be more Let's Plays up over there, as long as videos with me, Vactor, and Jeff W., the always angry Jeff W., who is always DTF.
Down to talk fun video game news.
That is correct.
Hunter knows. Yep. So check out the Sandbox Gamers podcast and the Sandbox Gamers YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Also, check out, we are, like I said at the beginning of the show, a podcast network, the GeekSoToSpeak podcast network. Don't forget, you can always check out our back episodes here on the Comic Book Kaiju, also the Sandbox Gamers, but also our Star Trek podcast, hosted by myself and Mr. Schaff. That is Technological. We're currently on hiatus due to Schaff's move. He's actually moving to the Pacific Northwest.
What?
So that is the reason why we have not put out any new episodes lately on Technological. But as soon as he gets set up and we get back into the swing of things, we will be back on Technological. But you can also listen to all of the previous episodes. And Hunter Camp, he's right there. He's subscribing. Look at that.
Yeah, I just subscribed.
Nice.
Thank you. Also, if you want to go back in our archives, there's 200 episodes of Geek, So to Speak, our Geek News podcast. Wonder Rob is probably on 90% of those 200 episodes. I'm on 5 of those. So
the news might be dated, but the humor lasts forever.
Oh yeah. Currently, Geek, So to Speak is under construction, so we'll put it like that. But hopefully, it will be coming back very soon. Geek, So to Speak, like I said, 200 episodes. You can listen to all 200 wherever podcasts are found. Seabury, hopefully, will be joining us for the next episode. You can check him out on Black Nerd Power on the Katsukian Network, and also on YouTube at Cinesundry. He's reviewing. I think he just reviewed Elvis on Cinesundry. Hunter Camp is streaming on Twitch. What's the next game?
Well, so I've started Elden Ring over on the PS4 Pro, so I am doing a playthrough on that. That is an arcane bleed build, so it's more of an occultist deal. So I will be a slaughtering.
Fancy.
He doesn't get it.
Hunter Camp is fancy boy.
Yeah.
But you two have your fun on Elden Ring. I'm going to have my fun on Stray.
I will have my fun on the Stray too.
Yeah.
I want to let Yes.
The whatever Warner Brothers property of Smash is in open beta now.
Yes. We will be talking about that. Yes, we will be talking about that on this week's Sandbox Gamers. So stay tuned for Wonder Rob and I's thoughts on that. And speaking of Wonder Rob, I want to let everybody know that Wonder Rob loves comics, and you should too.
He didn't say it.